People with psychopathic friends, why are you friends with them? I've known Jake since high school, though I didn't learn about his diagnosis until college. We bonded over our love of chess. He was calculating, strategic, and impossibly good at reading my next move. One night during sophomore year, we were walking back from a party when 3 guys started following us. I was terrified, but Jake remained eerily calm. He turned around, made direct eye contact with them, and said in the most emotionless voice, "I've been counting your steps for the last 2 blocks. I know exactly how fast you run. I'm faster." Then he smiled, not a normal smile, but something that made the guys back away and leave. Later that night, Jake told me about his diagnosis. He explained that he doesn't experience fear or anxiety like most people. He doesn't naturally feel empathy, but he's developed a systematic approach to understanding others. He showed me a journal where he tracked social interactions, noting what responses seemed appropriate in different situations. He had actual flowcharts for how to be a good friend. When my dad died junior year, Jake appeared at my door with my favorite coffee. While my other friends offered emotional platitudes that honestly just made me feel worse, Jake asked practical questions. Do you need help with funeral arrangements? Should I take notes in our shared classes? What tasks would reduce your stress? He created a spreadsheet to coordinate meals and rides from our friend group, making sure no one brought the same food twice. When I thanked him, he said, "I researched grief support. The articles suggested practical help is often more valuable than sympathy." What makes Jake different became obvious when my girlfriend cheated on me. I was an emotional wreck, but Jake approached it like a problem to solve. He didn't say, "You'll find someone better," or other cliches. Instead, he analyzed the relationship objectively, pointing out patterns I'd missed. She displayed 7 consistent behaviors indicating dishonesty. I didn't tell you because social protocols suggest friends shouldn't interfere unless asked. He was right about everything. My other friends sometimes ask why I trust someone who admits he doesn't feel emotions normally. They don't understand that Jake's friendship is a choice he makes every day, following his self-created moral code with perfect consistency. Last year, Jake started volunteering at a crisis hotline. I was surprised, since emotional support seems counterintuitive for someone with his condition. When I asked why, he explained, "I excel at logical problem solving without becoming emotionally compromised. Most callers don't actually want empathy. They want solutions or someone who won't judge them." The center director later told me Jake had the highest success rate of any volunteer. They even asked him to train others on his approach. Jake's different perspective has saved me countless times. When I was passed over for promotion despite outperforming my colleagues, everyone else told me how unfair it was. Jake instead observed my boss for 2 weeks, identified exactly how the decision makers were evaluating performance, completely different metrics than I thought, and helped me create a 6-month plan that got me promoted. Last month, I was dating someone new and brought her to meet Jake. After she left, I asked what he thought. He hesitated, which was unusual. Finally, he said, "She mimics your speech patterns and interests too quickly. She researched your preferences before meeting. She touched your arm 17 times but flinched when you initiated contact. These are manipulation tactics I recognize because I've studied them." I trusted him and ended things. A week later, I discovered she'd done exactly this pattern with her last 3 boyfriends, each ending in financial scams. People misunderstand psychopathy as inherently evil, but Jake uses his different brain wiring to be methodically kind. He doesn't feel compelled by emotional impulses, which means every good thing he does is a deliberate choice. When I was hospitalized after an accident, Jake visited daily at exactly 6:30 p.m. One evening, I asked if these visits were just obligation. He looked confused and said, "I come because you're important to me. I may not process importance through emotional attachment, but that doesn't make it less real. I choose you as someone worth my protection and loyalty. Isn't that more meaningful than involuntary feelings?" And he was right. There's something profound about being friends with someone who chooses to care, rather than simply feeling it automatically.